Hey there, and welcome to my English podcast. I'm Tom, your host. Today, we have something special for you. We're going to learn and practice English with a classic adventure, Treasure Island. Don't worry, we're not reading the full book. This is a short, simple, learner-friendly version. First, you'll hear the story slowly, using easy words. Then, I'll teach you useful vocabulary from the story with clear explanations and examples. Finally, you'll practice shadowing. You can pause, repeat, and even write down what you hear. Ready? Great! My friend and colleague Richard will narrate the story for you slowly and clearly. The story, slow and simple. A long time ago, in a quiet village by the sea, there was a small inn called the Admiral Benbow. A young boy named Jim Hawkins lived there with his parents. Life at the inn was simple and peaceful. Only a few travelers stayed there, and nothing exciting ever happened. Then one day, everything changed. An old sailor came to the inn. He was tall and strong, with a deep scar on his face. His clothes were worn and dirty. He looked rough and wild. He didn't talk much, but he always looked nervous. Every morning, he walked up the hill by the sea with a telescope and watched the water as if he was waiting for someone. He drank too much rum and sang old pirate songs. His loud voice and scary songs made the guests afraid. His name was Billy Bones. Billy told Jim to watch for a sailor with one leg. He gave Jim a silver coin every month to keep an eye out for danger. Jim didn't understand why Billy was so afraid, but he knew the old sailor was hiding from someone. One day, a blind man came to the inn. His name was Pew. He was even scarier than Billy. Pew grabbed Billy's hand and gave him a small round paper called the black spot. Among pirates, the black spot is a sign of danger and death. Billy turned very pale and began to shake. A few minutes later, he collapsed. His heart simply gave out. After Billy's death, Jim and his mother opened his small sea chest to take the money he owed them. Inside, they found coins from many countries. But they also found something even more important, a map. It was a treasure map. It showed where the famous pirate Captain Flint had hidden his gold. Jim took the map to Dr. Livesey, a kind and clever doctor, and to Squire Trelawney, a rich landowner. The three of them made a plan. They would sail across the sea and look for the treasure. Their great adventure was about to begin. Dr. Livesey and Squire Trelawney hired a strong, beautiful ship called the Hispaniola. They also found a captain to lead the voyage. His name was Captain Smollett. He was strict, but fair and honest. Jim was allowed to join the crew as a cabin boy. He felt excited and proud. He had never been on a ship before. One of the men on the ship was Long John Silver, the cook. He had only one leg and walked with a wooden crutch, but he moved quickly and smiled often. He told funny sea stories and helped everyone. He even had a green parrot on his shoulder that shouted, "Pieces of 8. Pieces of 8. At first, everyone liked Silver. But then something frightening happened. One day, Jim was hiding in an apple barrel on the ship. While hiding, he heard Long John Silver talk quietly to some of the crew. Jim learned a terrible secret. Silver and many of the men were pirates. They planned to wait until the treasure was found. Then they would take over the ship and keep everything for themselves. Jim felt scared, but he stayed quiet and listened. Later, he told Captain Smollett, Dr. Livesey, and Squire Trelawney. Now they knew the truth. Many of the crew were dangerous. They had to be careful and get ready to defend themselves. After many days at sea, the Hispaniola reached Treasure Island. The island was green and wild. There were tall trees, rocky hills, and secret caves. It looked calm, but Jim and his friends knew there could be danger. Some of the crew went to the island right away. Jim went with them, but soon he walked off alone into the forest. In the forest, Jim met a strange man named Ben Gunn. He had once been a pirate, but his shipmates had left him alone on the island. He had lived there for 3 years, eating berries and goats. Ben was a little odd, but kind and friendly. He told Jim a big secret. He had already found Captain Flint's treasure and had hidden it in a safe place. Ben said he would help Jim and the others, but only if they promised to take him home after the adventure. Back on the shore, things got worse. Long John Silver and the pirates took control of the Hispaniola. The honest men, Captain Smollett, Dr. Livesey, Squire Trelawney, and a few loyal sailors moved into an old wooden house, a stockade on the island to stay safe and fight back. Soon, the battle began. The pirates attacked the stockade with guns and swords. They shouted and tried to scare the loyal men. But the loyal men were brave and smart. They defended the house and did not give up. Jim decided to do something bold. He found a small round boat and quietly paddled back to the Hispaniola. On the ship, he faced a dangerous pirate and fought for his life. Jim won. He took control of the ship and moved it to a safe place far from the pirates. Later, Jim returned to the stockade and told his friends what he had done. Long John Silver tried to act friendly again. He pretended to change sides. He wanted to stay safe, but Jim and the others did not trust him. At last, the pirates used the map and went to dig at the place where they thought the treasure was buried. They dug and dug, but found nothing. The treasure was gone. They had been tricked. They did not know that Ben Gunn had already moved the treasure to a cave. Some pirates gave up. Some ran into the forest and were never seen again. Others were too weak to fight. In the end, the good men won. They were tired, but safe. And now they knew where the real treasure was. They followed Ben Gunn to the cave and found gold, silver, jewels, and coins from many lands. There was so much treasure that they had to carry it to the ship in many trips. A few pirates were left behind. Some had died. Others had escaped into the forest. Long John Silver was still with them. He had helped sometimes, but he also lied and tricked them. Then one night, Silver disappeared. He took one small bag of coins and was never seen again. The Hispaniola sailed back to England. Jim and his friends were safe, and now they were rich. But Jim felt different. He had faced danger, greed, and death. He had learned about bravery, friendship, and trust. He was no longer just a fast boy. He had grown up. Vocabulary you can use. Great job listening. Now let's learn useful vocabulary from the story. I'll explain each item simply, give you a natural example, and then we'll say a short sentence together for shadowing. By the sea, meaning near the ocean, on the coast. Example: they built a small cottage by the sea. Repeat: they lived by the sea. In meaning: a small, often old and cozy hotel. Example: we stayed at a little inn on our road trip. Repeat: let's rest at an inn. Rough meaning: looking tough or wild, not neat or clean. Example: the sailor looked rough with messy hair and old clothes. Repeat: he looked rough and scary. Scar meaning: a mark left on the skin after a cut or injury heals. Example: she has a small scar on her knee. Repeat: he has a scar on his face. Nervous meaning: worried or afraid that something bad might happen. Example: I feel nervous before speaking in public. Repeat: Jim looked nervous. Watch for someone, something, meaning keep looking to see if a person or thing appears. Example: he stood at the window watching for his friends. Repeat: he was watching for danger. Keep an eye out, meaning watch carefully. Be alert. Example: keep an eye out for your phone, you lose it a lot. Repeat: keep an eye out for trouble. Pale meaning very white skin, often from fear or sickness. Example: she went pale when she heard the news. Repeat: he looked pale. Collapse meaning fall down suddenly from weakness, fear, or pain. Example: after the race, he almost collapsed. Repeat: he collapsed on the floor. His heart gave out, meaning his heart stopped working, often from shock or stress. Example: he was so scared his heart gave out. Repeat: his heart simply gave out. Adventure meaning an exciting trip or experience sometimes. Dangerous. Example: climbing the mountain was a big adventure. Repeat: that was a great adventure. Voyage meaning a long journey by sea. Example: the voyage took many weeks. Repeat: we went on a long voyage. Strict meaning following rules exactly, expecting others to do the same. Example: our teacher is strict but fair. Repeat: the captain was strict. Take over the ship, meaning take control, often by force. Example: the pirates planned to take over the ship. Repeat: they tried to take over the ship. Right away meaning immediately, without waiting. Example: come here right away. Repeat: do it right away. Walk off meaning leave a place, often quietly or without explanation. Example: he didn't answer, he just walked off. Repeat: Jim walked off into the forest. Bonus words from the story, optional. Telescope, a tool for seeing far away at sea. Stockade, a simple wooden fort or strong house. marooned, left alone in a place and not able to escape. Shadowing practice. Now it's shadowing time. I'll read short lines. Pause, repeat, and try to match my rhythm and stress. We lived by the sea. The old inn was quiet and cozy. The sailor looked rough and had a scar. He watched the water every morning. Billy was nervous and drank too much rum. The blind man gave him the black spot. Billy turned pale and collapsed. We found a treasure map in the chest. We set sail on a long voyage. Shadowing practice. Now it's shadowing time. I'll read short lines. Pause, repeat, and try to match my rhythm and stress. We lived by the sea. The old inn was quiet and cozy. The sailor looked rough and had a scar. He watched the water every morning. Billy was nervous and drank too much rum. The blind man gave him the black spot. Billy turned pale and collapsed. We found a treasure map in the chest. We set sail on a long voyage. The captain was strict but fair. Long John Silver told funny stories. Jim hid and heard the pirates' plan. They wanted to take over the ship. Treasure Island was green and wild. Jim walked off into the forest. Ben Gunn had already found the treasure. The pirates attacked the old wooden house. Jim fought a dangerous pirate and won. The pirates dug, but found nothing. We carried the treasure back to the ship. Long John Silver disappeared into the night. We sailed home safe and a little wiser. Well done. This is how your English grows step by step, story by story. If you enjoyed this episode of my English podcast, share it with a friend who's learning English too. I'm Tom, and I'll see you next time. Keep listening, keep repeating, and keep improving. Bye for